Bombshells have just been dropped in the NASCAR world. Text messages and emails have been leaked amidst this lawsuit coming in December. How did we get here? Where do we go? And my thoughts. Hi, everyone. My name is Brody, and thank you for tuning in to today's episode. We have a lot in store, and things just keep getting crazier with this whole lawsuit debacle. And I wanted to do this pretty unscripted, just kind of go in raw, mostly unedited, and just kind of rant with you guys about what I'm feeling and what I think most of you guys are feeling. So, NASCAR has been in this lawsuit now with 2311 Racing and Frontline Motorsports for months now, ever since the new charter agreement was apparently a done deal. For most of the teams, it was, but 2311 Front Row had other plans. The industry probably wants this to be gone. They have tried many times to litigate and come to a resolution and to settle, but nothing has seemed to work. Nothing has seemed to reach the most pivotal point of getting this gone. And that's for many reasons, probably on both sides. Now, I'm here to say that I have no bias here. What I want, what my true bias is the best for the sport. I want NASCAR and anything associated with NASCAR to be thriving and at its best. That includes the teams, that includes the broadcasts, that includes the sponsors, that includes the sanctioning body. That's everything. It's a collective group. So when we have two entities that make up a large part of the sport, the NASCAR itself, the teams that put the show on, how do you analyze such a thing? So I'm sitting here in just disbelief at the point at which this has come to. So the big story we have here, amidst all the other ones in the past, are these new text message and emails. It's all anybody's talking about in the NASCAR world. And I don't want to side with anybody or give off the wrong impression, but looking at these from a fan's perspective, I am not very enthused or optimistic or even hopeful. This lawsuit is probably going to go to trial. I'd give it a 99% chance. I do not see how they can come to terms before this trial, because they are just so at odds with each other. It really is like a reality TV show where you have two bickering families, two bickering parties, and they would rather put their egos in front of their own interests. And I was just reading something the other day that success is almost often killed by ego. And these two parties can't let either side win. They both think, they have a chance to win decisively, unanimously. But what's hindering all of this for me is I don't think anybody can win. Because we're at a point now where these text messages and these emails are collectively destroying the sport. You have these text messages and emails slandering icons in the sport. Richard Childress, absolute legend. NASCAR would not be NASCAR without him. He signed Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt is considered NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt. So it's just crazy to think how we got here with everything that has transpired. The lawsuit's premise is NASCAR is a monopoly, monopolistic intentions. These text messages and emails don't do NASCAR any favors. The SRX series, Ray Evernham, Vision, Rebirth of IROC. NASCAR wants to put a knife in that series. That's like the NFL wanting to put a knife in the XFL. That would make national headlines. But what you got to understand is NASCAR is a business. The NFL is a business. It's just different approaches to the competition that separate the two. As far as I know, the NFL has not made very many public indications about disdain towards the XFL. NASCAR, with these emails, not good. Especially for the truck coming up. Not good at all. Throw in purchasing ARCA. That was once an independent series. Not anymore. Not anymore. And this SRX series, which, in my honest opinion, don't think was worth NASCAR's time at all. I think the SRX, in many ways, was its own thing. You could kind of honestly relate it to the Cars Tour, Dale Jr.'s project. It was never gonna beat NASCAR. Yes, maybe it beat some Xfinity and some truck races, but obviously, have you seen the truck broadcasts? It's unbearable. And I'm a diehard NASCAR fan. I'm gonna sit through it and watch it anyways because I think the truck racing is pretty damn good. It is really good, but it's almost like you're eating your cake and getting bit in the arm by a snake. Something good and something bad is happening at the same time, and you're just kind of like in the middle, like, am I having fun or am I miserable? That's why the SRX succeeded. NASCAR needs to know that. Take ideas from the SRX. There was a lot of good ideas in there. Short track revival. Local heroes coming out. And honestly, NASCAR did take some of those ideas. Why do you think the Clash was at the Coliseum? Why do you think Bowman Gray's back in North Wilkesboro? In one of those texts, I think Steve O'Donnell or somebody said, we have to get to North Wilkesboro before the SRX does with Dale Jr. The problem with that statement is why can't both of you? I think SRX and NASCAR had a almost symbolic relationship to where I think they bettered each other. I think the SRX uprising was great because you had a chance to leverage your superstars, leverage the Ryan Blaney's, the Chase Elliott's, the Denny Hamlins, give them a personality outside your own sport, leverage that opportunity into growing your own. I bet all those fans watching the SRX weren't all NASCAR fans. You had IndyCar fans, you had F1 fans, you had late model, sprint car fans. That was opportunity for NASCAR. And with these statements that come out by wanting to put a knife in the series, it's not good. It's not good. How you cannot say those things. You cannot say those things. Yes, I think everybody collectively could say Yes, I have maybe said some things about some people behind closed doors. Absolutely, yes. Who hasn't? But you're in a lawsuit. Case evidence is going to be revealed. You know that. You know that. You had months to prepare for this. And none of that mattered because here we are. I'm going to say it. NASCAR is in a horrible situation right now. I'm not talking NASCAR, the sanctioning body. I'm talking about NASCAR collectively. I am in fear of the sport being worse off. How does this look in the media? You don't see F1 fans and F1 accounts complaining about a litigation against with Ferrari and Mercedes going after the F1 FIA. You don't hear that. You hear disdain. You hear upset about penalties that occur. Sure, NASCAR has a lot of upset fans of penalties that occur and the race control having issues. Yeah, but about a lawsuit, never. F1 would have never let that happen. Never. So if you take a look at it, say, I'm not a NASCAR fan, and I see this headline CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, NASCAR in lawsuit with top team, Michael Jordan's team. NBA fans, already on Michael Jordan's side. Done. Done. That's millions of people. Millions of people. Guess what happens with those millions of people? They're not going to want to watch NASCAR because they're going to think it's a joke. A joke. Kiss that market goodbye. This should have never, ever got to this point. Never. And it was the egos of both sides. Both sides have done this, okay? It's not just one. You go back to when this whole lawsuit started. Larry Mack, I believe it was on Fox, said, we're not like other sports. NASCAR's different. Larry, all NASCAR's ever tried to be recently is like other sports. This is a motorsport. There's no other motorsport in the world with playoffs. Where does playoffs come from? Other sports, stick and ball sports. NASCAR has tried to be the NFL for so long now. Tried to be MLB. I'm not going to get off on a playoff tangent here, but Game 7 moments, baseball. Playoffs. Knockout system. Winner take all. Football. If I could put NASCAR's future into a single word, it'd be uncertainty. Uncertainty. I hope for the best with this litigation pending. There is really no way to tell the result. You could argue both sides have good ground to stand on. However, I think the ground they are standing on is wet and soggy and unstable for both sides. So, to sum it up, guys, as a fan, I'm very worried. I'm very worried because I don't want NASCAR to fail. I don't want NASCAR to be in a spot it can't recover from. I want the teams to be successful and I want them to make money. They can reinvest into the sport, and I want the TV broadcast to broadcast all this NASCAR action on their main channels. I want growth. I want optimism. I want happy race fans. That's what I want. That's what I can envision for the sport, because NASCAR is so cool, man. It's the best. I don't want that to go away. I don't want a major overhaul or restructure to happen, because if that happens, how long does that take? How long before the dust actually settles? There's no telling. There's no way of knowing. But that was my thought process, guys. I hope you shared some thoughts of mine and can reconcile with me, because I'm at a loss for words at the moment, and I'm really hoping for the best. This lawsuit will be messy, I promise you, but we can only hope that the best comes from it. What that is, I don't know, but we will find out very, very soon. So thank you guys for tuning into this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Please leave comments down and let me know your thoughts. Where do you think NASCAR stands? What do you think the results are going to be for the trial? And what are your opinions on these text messages and emails? I really want to know. I want to connect with you guys and see where you guys are at and just listen. So, again, thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Please subscribe and like if you're new. Follow me on Instagram, where I post more NASCAR content and you can interact with me a little bit more there. And yeah, very thankful for you guys for tuning in, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next episode.